Welcome back to How to Cake It. I'm Yolanda, and this week I've decided to cake a popular emoji. I don't need you to tell me what it means in the comments, but I'm just caking the clean version out of my appreciation for this fruit. So let's begin. So to begin, I'm going to level and layer this cake. With the second cake, I'm going to layer it, but not level it because I need the hump. Again, I don't need a reminder. All right, I need to layer this cake, but I'm going to leave the hump remaining. Yeah, I'm gonna start to just shave off the caramelization. This is kind of scary when the cake is cold. Okay, so now what I need to do is begin to shape this cake like the fruit emoji I am making, which remains nameless at this point. I'm going to work on carving this sort of indent. Now this is a very simple little indent in the fruit that's quite subtle in real life, but I have to cut it deeper because once I ice it, cover it, all of that is going to fill the crevice, making it less deep. Whereas if I made it really shallow, we might not even notice it by the time I'm finished. And I'd say the crease is very important in this fruit, wouldn't you? And I also want to clean up crumbs, which is my real passion. Do you think this is too high? I think it might be too high. How much do I carve in? Like how much? I like this. Okay, so I'm going to clean up and set up to simple syrup. I don't know what to do with this beautiful heart. We'll find something to do with it. Okay, now it's time to simple syrup these cakes. It's rounded, so I want to make sure I still get the edge. I'm filling this cake with two fillings. One is Italian meringue buttercream that I'm going to flavor with this liquid candy peach flavoring from Jenna Rae Cakes. Jenna and Ashley were here visiting recently, and they left me this, which is perfect for the cake that I'm making today. Also, I'm going to fill it with a peach filling. I made this yesterday, so let's go visit me in the past, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, it's yesterday. And today's the day that I prepped my peach filling for the Peach Emoji Cake. So what I'm going to do is peel them and then chop them up. I do have to say that the peaches imported at this time of year are not prime. You want the pan to be nice and hot so that the butter will melt, then you can add the sugar, it will start to caramelize, and then you can add your peaches. So we'll just wait. While we're waiting, I'm going to ask you if there's any other emojis you'd like me to cake. Leave a comment below. Okay, I'm going to start to add some brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar too. I just didn't have any. I know the peaches aren't that sweet, so I'm going a little heavy on the brown sugar. Oh, now you can hear some sizzle. Oh my gosh, I left a pit in there. Oh my gosh. Although my peaches smell really good, they are a bit liquidy because they were very watery. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid pectin to help thicken this mixture. Since it's going in a novelty cake, I can't have it be runny. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 15 minutes. At the 10-minute mark, I decided to add some liquid pectin. It thickened up. It's going to thicken even more as it cools. And that's why I decided to cook these the day before. I need this to be fully cool. And if I need to, tomorrow I can always strain this. Okay, we're back to present me. You can see it's very thick. So let's flavor some buttercream. I love this packaging so much. I've never used this. Oh my gosh, I want to wear it behind my ears. Do you think I can do that? Here we go. More peach. Oh, wow. No, I think that's it. Thank you, Jenna Rae Cakes. Now I'm ready to fill my cake. I'm gonna spread on an even layer of candy peach Italian meringue buttercream. You know, I thought about dyeing the buttercream peach as well. But then I thought when I slice the cake, it's just gonna be like peach on peach on peach. So I think the white buttercream is gonna look pretty. Piping the fence, again, as always, it's not about how you pipe, it's just that you wanna fully lay. See how the piping bag is sideways? I'm not piping downward as if it's the top of a cupcake. I'm so shaky, do you see that? And now I'm gonna put in my peach filling. Okay, and now we can lay on the second layer of cake. It's harder to line up when it's tapered at the bottom, so you really have to make sure to take a look all the way around. You wanna press down a little bit, and then just seal up this fence. Now we're gonna add this final layer, which is the heaviest one. Woo! I was contemplating chilling it before I crumb coat, but this cake isn't difficult to crumb coat. So I'm gonna roll right in. Icing the cake. I've got my invention on hand. I'm happy with this. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, and then we're gonna work on the stem and the leaves. So I need to make the peach leaves, and I think the trickiest part about this is I want them to like stand up at the top of the cake. So what I'm gonna do is dry them and stand them up against these bowls. So I'm gonna make myself a quick template, because you know I love it. So this is gum paste that I dyed green. I'll perfect the color by painting it when I get to the part where I'm gonna add it to the cake, but this is a good base. Okay, so for the stem, I'm using a lollipop stick. I've curved it on purpose. You can use piping gel. This is clear corn syrup, just so it's a bit tacky. And then I have brown gum paste because I dyed it brown, which took a lot of food coloring. It's a lot softer than it usually is. You will always want to knead your fondant to make sure you get out any air bubbles, and so that all of the creases and lines line up at the bottom underneath, so that when you're rolling, you don't see them in the fondant. Now is the tricky part where I pick up the fondant and drape it over the cake. Okay, here we go. This isn't as scary as a cake with a sharp edge because the fondant pulls on the edge and it wants to crack. This is rounded, so it's a bit nicer to the fondant. And then I push in because the cake is tapered underneath, and I want to make sure I'm truly covering all of the cake. Otherwise, when you trim the fondant, the elasticity makes it jump back. You see the streaks from the brush? That's why you need a blender, a sponge. I like it. I'm scared to go darker as she goes darker. I'm gonna let this dry and move on to the stem and the leaves. I made 2 sets of leaves and now I have to paint them. I think I want to use a bit of powdered color, which is quite deceiving. Look at how brown it looks. Do you see that? But then you add alcohol to it and it turns green. But it is a bit bright. So to combat that, I'm gonna add a spot of red because it's the opposite of green. You wanna make sure to paint the edges as well. Peach leaves have a little bit of texture. I don't want to say texture, but you can see the vein. So I'm going to make that and add that. I have to paint that as well. Okay, and now the other leaf. So now I need to paint the stem. The stem is stemming. The stem is giving stem. I love it. this. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back in its holder. And now I'm just gonna let these dry for a bit before I attach them to the cake. And when they're on the cake, I will paint the front of the leaves. Just putting on royal icing. I don't wanna put so much that it oozes out, because then we'll see it. And the thicker I put it on the leaf, the longer it will take to dry. Next leaf, actually I wanna make a little mark where my stem will go, which will be probably about there. I'm gonna make a little bit of paste to fill my leaf, a very little bit. So I'm gonna brush this into that crease. So let me think about how I wanna do this. Do I wanna put the stem in first and then paint? Sure. I have no reference photo for how it looks over here, but really the stem looks like it's in front of the leaves. That's why I did it that way. Now I have to paint the top side of the leaves without getting paint on the peach. These are my favorite moments. Okay, we've got it. Life is peachy. Look at it. I just want to like pat it. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna cut a slice. Here I go. Oh, it's so cute. It's so peachy. I think I want to ride the emoji train for a while. Leave an emoji below. What's your favorite emoji? And I'll cake it. And I already know what emoji is going to be below. Don't think I don't know you. This is just a peach. I'll see you next week.